Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Empire Network with Sports Con with the Con Man. I am your host, the Con Man. I was hoping to have one of my nearest and dearest friends to come on the show. Her name is Lex Barrows, and maybe she'll pop in. But nevertheless, you know how the Con Man does it. We're gonna do the damn thing anyway. And what we're gonna talk about tonight is the NBA. The NBA right now is like going through some changes right now, and the NBA is very fascinating. And I'm gonna break it down to you right quick. I want to talk first of all about uh, the unfortunate Brooklyn Nets, and we're gonna talk about Kyrie Irving. And hopefully, you all tune in and say what you want. In my opinion, regarding the Brooklyn Nets. Right now, they are 5-7, and they're going through a very tough thing going right now. They named a new head coach who was one of the assistants, Jack Vaughn, who I remember very well when he played at the University of Kansas. Great point guard, and he seems to be bringing out a lot more out of the Nets than I thought he would. I'm glad he got the opportunity. I know a lot of people want Emo or Doka, who was with the Celtics, but I think they made the right move. And I'll tell you why. First of all, he knows the players, he knows the system. Who better than him has respect to the players, and who better than him to be able to help the Nets move forward? Now, again, we're going to talk about the Nets. They really do not have much outside shooting. I mean, Harris has come back, but he's not playing the same way as he normally does. They brought back Curry, who had a very good game last night, if I recall. But anyway, I think that the issue is Simmons. They paid a whole lot of money for Simmons. And I want to know what y'all think. If it was me, I would just say, look, Simmons, just go out and play. No expectations. Just go out and play the damn game. The guy, 6'10", was a former two-time defensive player candidate of the year, and the guy will not attempt a shot. I'll be like, yo, just shoot. Just shoot. Have fun. Just shoot to get out of your system. And right now, they are sitting at 5-7. They're in the 11th place in the Eastern Conference right now, and not very good. But I'm gonna break it down team by team, and hopefully, my guest, who was supposed to be Lex Barrows, who I was gonna give her roses, hopefully she'll come on. But so it's kind of unexpected, so I'm gonna roll with it like the con man does. We're gonna break it down team by team, and the surprising teams. Let's go by the Eastern Conference first. Yeah. First of all, the team who I do not like from the beginning, and everybody knows the Boston Celtics. Right now, they're sitting at 8-3, and they have a new coach who I'm kind of familiar with because he's from Rhode Island. I'm from New Bedford, Mass. I know the family. I played against the family back in the day, and he's just doing a tremendous job. He's getting the most out of what they have. You know, you got Brown and Tatum are playing out of their mind, and they picked up Brogdon. They have a good nucleus. They have a good bench. And you got to remember, Williams hasn't even come back yet. Imagine when he comes back. Right now, they're the highest rated offensive team in the NBA. They're doing fantastic. I am not very happy with the Celtics, as you all know, but you know, something you got to give props when props are due, and the Celtics are playing out of their mind. I think they beat Detroit last night by like 20-something points, but they're going to have a tough game, I believe, tomorrow night against the Utah Jazz. But we're going to go back and we're going to deal with the Eastern Conference. The Atlanta Hawks, they have very surprised me. You know, Trae Young is going to be Trae Young, but the Murray that they picked up from San Antonio is doing fantastic. I think he's a star in the making. I think they did very well with him. He fits in very well with what they're doing, and I think the Hawks are going to be a team to be reckoned with. And then you see that Collins is playing well. They have their bench playing very well. They're really taking into what the coach has to say. I'm very happy with the Atlanta Hawks. Now, here's my surprise: the Toronto Raptors. I had no idea that they would be doing as well as they're doing. They're 7-5, and they have Siakam, who's playing out of his mind. He got hurt. He may be out with, I guess, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but he's playing out of his mind. I think. And then you got Van Fleet. I think he's had 3 games in a row with over 30 points. So that is surprising to me. This whole NBA is very surprising to me, to be honest with you. Teams that you would expect to not do well, they're doing very well. Teams that you thought would tank to get the #1 pick, they're playing very well. Very shocking to me. We're going to go right now. We're going to go down to the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls. Now, there's talk about making some trades, and we got to wait to see what the trade deadline is going to be. But it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do. Right now, I'm hearing. Now, I want to know what y'all think. DeMar DeRozan for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is from Chicago. I'm just saying, he's not. He don't really. He's always injury prone, but he's from Chicago. He may make a difference with the front court they have, and that could be very interesting. We gotta wait and see what's going to happen during the trade deadline. DeRozan is playing out of his mind as well. I like the Chicago Bulls, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, let's go to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks. First of all, they have bad ownership, which is the #1 problem. I don't think they should have got Brunson when they could have got Donovan Mitchell. I think we all know Brunson's father is part of the Knicks system, and maybe that has something to do with Brunson going to the Knicks. I played against Brunson's dad, and also he played at University of Temple. I know very well. Great guy, but the Knicks could have done better. They made some very bad choices in their picks. Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker. I mean, they made some very bad choices. I think they paid a lot of money for a lot of for nothing, and in return, which affected the salary cap. My question to you, whoever's listening and watching: why do teams get rid of players before they reach their, I guess, expectations? We're going to Lakers. Once we get into Lakers, I'll explain exactly what I'm saying. A lot of teams, instead of molding and trying to improve your players, you get rid of them at too early of a cost. And it hurts you. And then you end up the Knicks paying so much money for guys who are past their prime, who are injury prone, and that's why they are where they are right now. You got Randall, who I like. You got Barrett, who I like. You got a couple of players who I like. You got Derrick Rose, who was one of the greatest players I've ever seen in his first or second year. But he's a shadow of himself because of the injuries. And, Thibodeau, by the way, I played against Thibodeau, believe it or not. Yes, I was at Framingham State. He was at Worcester State. But anyway, I want him to do well. He's a very disciplined coach. He was coaching the Celtics, defensive-oriented guy, and helped the Celtics to win their championship when they won the championship. But I think that right now the Knicks are in a very tough bind. They have an owner who won't budge, and they're going to be in a world of problems. The salary cap is going to affect them, and I think that's going to be a major problem for the New York Knicks. And even though Stephen A. Smith doesn't want to go to the Garden, I don't know, I don't take it that bad, but the Knicks, they do play hard. I got to give them credit. They do play hard. They're very effective as far as defensively is concerned, not the last couple of games. But I like the way that they do play hard. And, what it comes down to, is the fact it's who you pick in the draft. Do you go by draft? Do you go by free agents? What do you really go by? And you have to decide as a manager or general manager or owner, what exactly do you want? Do you want to tank or do you want to for the future? Now we're going to go back now down to the Washington Wizards. Bradley Beal, one of the greatest players in the NBA. I applaud him for being a hometown boy loyal to the Wizards, although he's getting paid handsomely. And it just doesn't seem to me that the Wizards are ever going to get any better. They have to draft better. I think they have to have better coaching. Porzingis is playing well. They had a couple of guys. I mean, they got a couple of guys who are playing pretty good. But I think Bradley Beal, maybe he should have made a choice to go elsewhere. Because to me, as his greatness is not being, I guess, properly attended to, because he's with the Washington Wizards. Every year they seem to be falling back in the pack. And it's really kind of devastating because he's such a great player, such a great model for the citizens of the Washington area. And I just feel bad. But, I mean, he is getting paid. But the Wizards seem like they're not going to go anywhere. Now we're going to go with the 76ers, Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, they made the big acquisition of James Harden, who has played pretty well. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury where he's going to be gone a month. And then Embiid and Maxey is playing out of his mind. So I think that the Philadelphia 76ers right now, although they're 5-6 right now, I think they're going to be being one of the teams to deal with it in the East when it comes time at the end. And Harden will come back. I truly believe that, Harden was playing very well. Everyone gave him a lot of heat, being overweight and, trying to get out of Houston and then wanting to get out of the Nets. But I think he's found a home. He lost a lot of weight. He looks in great shape. He's hitting the perimeter jump shot now. I don't like the dribble stuff, but he's playing very well. I think he's playing a lot better. Before he got hurt, I think he's playing a lot better. And Embiid is Embiid. I mean, he might be having one of his best years because I think he needs to, because they're hurting. But Maxey, this is what I'm talking about as far as developing young players. Now with Harden being gone, I think Maxey is going to improve so much more with the fact that he now has someone not looking over his shoulders. He can just play his game and do the right thing. I think Doc Rivers is going to allow him to do what he's been doing, and he's been playing a tremendous year. It's only 13 games in, 14 games in, 12 games in, but he's playing very, very well. Now, here's a surprising team is the Indiana Pacers. Now, I'll talk about that later on as far as them making deals with the Lakers. But the Indiana Pacers right now, they got Halliburton. My man's having over 20 and 10 a game. Fantastic. And then they got the dog. They got the dog, Merchant, I think his name, Merchant. He is going berserk. He said he wanted to deal with LeBron. Right now, he's playing out of his mind. He got 30 points last night, if I recall. And he got that dog in him. He got that dog. And I think, which I'll get back into later on as far as the Lakers are concerned, the Indiana Pacers right now, they're 5-6. And they're playing pretty well. I like their team. I like what they're doing. Turner is a beast. And I think that's why I like the NBA right now. I love the NBA right now because it's so much parity right now in the league right now. It's early. It's so much parity in the league, and I totally enjoy it. Now we gotta go back to the Brooklyn Nets. What do they do? You got Kyrie Irving, who's making $37 million a year, made a questionable text, and he's suffering the consequences from it. And now I think the Nets are saying, look, we done had enough. You done messed up with COVID stuff. You done making your crazy comments. And this latest one is really causing a lot of problems with the Nets. And you're the one that brought Harden to the Nets. Let's keep it real. You're the one that brought KD to the Nets. And here you are, who has I think one of the most outstanding individual games I've ever seen. But you are not there for your team. And for you to go and do what you did, you're hurting your team again. Last year was COVID. This year is because of your comments. And I know that the Nets have put a lot of restrictions or things you have to do in order to come back to the Nets. Now, will Kyrie do that? Good question. Knowing Kyrie the way I think I know of him, one thing I will say before I even talk about Kyrie, I knew Kyrie's dad. Kyrie's dad played at BU, played against him here in New Bedford, in Monty Park. Totally different than his son. Totally different. Kyrie, I don't know. The world's flat. I don't know. It's a shame because that kid, has so much talent. But sometimes when money becomes, you think you're better than everybody else. You think you can say and do what you want. But when you are part of an organization, there are owners, there are general managers that you have to adhere to or not. And if you don't want to adhere to, then bounce. But if you really want to be part of a team and show that you're a leader, and as you guys recall, at the beginning of the year, what did Kyrie say? We don't need a coach. KD and I can coach. And then you got Nash coming in. What kind of expectations going to have, or is he going to have when he comes into a team? Well, players that say, we don't even need a coach. We're going to coach ourselves. So Nash was given a bad situation, and he had to deal with it. I mean, granted, he never coached high school, college, ABA, NBA. He had no coaching experience at all, but he was one of the tremendous players in the NBA, two-time MVP. We all know his basketball playing expertness, but as far as being a coach, I don't think he knew what he was getting himself into when he was dealing with the Nets and dealing with Kyrie and KD and Harden. It was a very tough situation for him, and I think he did the best he could. Give him up. They didn't really get a chance to play together as a whole unit, so therefore a lot of things happened, and we never really got to see the whole total package that could have been. And we're all going to sit back and say, what could have been? But will we ever know? Will we ever know? I really don't know. I really don't. I truly don't know. It's really sad situation. Brooklyn Nets. You know what I think? To be honest with you, what if Kyrie and KD went to the Knicks? The Knicks haven't won in 1972. They had great teams. They had the Pat Ewing teams, and of course I got to bring that up. I played against Pat Ewing as well. That's my boy. That's my guy. But they never met any expectations that were levied against them. They should have did better than with Charles Smith missed a big time layup that might have had him go further in the conference as well. But now, if you just think, I'm thinking to myself, what if Kyrie and KD went to the Knicks? What would that have done? Now, KD, he won with Golden State. He lost with Oklahoma. And of course, Golden State was not his team. We know whose team it was. It was Steph's team. Now, if he had gone to the Knicks, that would have been his team. And he would have been the talk of the town of New York, which, as we all know, KD is very personable. He takes all the information and he gets very defensive about what people say about him. But if him and Kyrie had gone to the Knicks, just think, the Knicks are Madison Square Garden's already sold out. Can you imagine what that would have done to the New York area? I mean, that's my guess. But as you all know, Kyrie's from New Jersey, and he wanted to go to New Jersey and bring them up, and resulted in the fact that he wouldn't take the virus vaccination, and that hurt him tremendously as well. And that hurt his team. But Kyrie, man, and it's a shame because that guy has so much ability. If you look back, he averaged like 28 points, 27 points. He was having 27 points this year before he went out. The guy is a scoring machine. Defensively, we all know he's not a defensive ball player, but as far as And I guess they thought if they could just, they would outscore everybody. But, off the NBA, defense wins. I talked to the Celtics last year, #1 rated defensive team in the league. But as far as, again, going back to the Brooklyn Nets, I don't know what's going to happen. It's early yet. KD seems to be confident that they're going to get things together. I like the fact that they chose Jacques Vaughn, because in the football arena, that coach picked up Jeff Saturday, who I watch every morning. Great guy, but that was not the good move to make, because it's going to affect a lot of coaches black, white coaches, whoever, who could have and should have been given the opportunity, were never given the opportunity to get that position. And Jeff Saturday got him, who I like. I hope he does well. But given the fact that the Nets, because you remember, they only had 6 games to choose. They didn't have 6 weeks. And there's still litigation going on with Iman Adoka. There's still litigation going on. So I think they made the right move. Jacques Vaughn, he was a former coach of the Orlando Magic. Yes, he didn't have a winning record. But then again, you guys can understand something. They blame things on the coaches. Coaches will tell you it's the players. It's the player. You have great players, you'll win. They'll ask any coach, they'll tell you. Coaching makes a big difference, but not if you have the players. That's what makes the difference. You know what I mean? And the camaraderie, the teamwork, the concept, playing together, spreading the floor, spreading the ball around, no egos. That's what makes an NBA team. Coaching, I guess the coaching aspect is more of a type of personality, as far as you have to be a counselor. You have to be more of a mother figure, a father figure. You got to know how to deal with relationships amongst teammates. That's more your role. The X's and O's, come on. Anybody can read X's and O's. That's not that difficult. But it's how to get everybody to mesh together and to buy into what you're trying to explain. And I think Jacques Vaughn, I watched him at camp. What a great point guard. Now, I'm a former point guard, so I know when you're a point guard, you establish that leadership role. And you have to be a leader to all your teammates. I think Jacques Vaughn, although Steve Nash was kind of the same way, but Jacques Vaughn has proven his point. He paid his dues. I think, given the opportunity, I think he's going to do well. And he has that personality I think the players can relate to. I think the players are going to really adjust to what he has to say. And today on one of the TV shows, he was talking about how he has different things he wants to do, but he couldn't do because he was only an assistant coach. But the man has paid his dues, and I'm very happy for him. I think he's going to do well. I know they may still be going after Iman. I don't know. But I think that right now, the way the Nets are playing right now, I think he's the perfect fit for the Nets. And once he got hired, they were like, why did they get him? What? I think they made the right move, if you ask me. That guy has paid his dues. So many, I'll go there. So many black assistant coaches, whatever, never really get the opportunity for whatever reasons. And by giving him the opportunity, I think it's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to take full advantage of it to the best of his ability. I think the Nets will be pretty good. Obviously, I think they're going to make the playoffs. But I'm very happy for him. I wish him nothing but the best of luck. And I think he will do the damn thing. I think he's going to be all right. I think because, something? The players adjust. And you can tell by how the players feel. Because if the players buy in, guess what's going to happen? Good things are going to happen. Now he's going to stress defense because we all know the Nets play no damn defense. But I think he's going to instill the fact about the importance of playing defense. And I think it's going to be a major factor in the Nets. I foresee them. I think they're going to be in. Oh man, I think they're going to be in the top 4, 5, or 6 in the Eastern Conference. Now, now we're talking about teams that were doing good. Let's go back to these again. Miami Heat. Miami Heat. Last year they played very well, as we all know. I think they ended with the best record in the East. Miami Heat is they have a very good team. They're well coached. They got real good management. Pat Riley, of course. So you know they don't play. And they have one of the players who I is near and dear to me, by the way, Max Strauss, who played at DePaul, who played for one of my best friends, Dave later. But we don't have to go in there. But Miami is they're a team to be reckoned with. I think they're getting healthy again. I think they're going to be a team to deal with. Right now, it's so early in the season, so so many people are making predictions, this and that. But it's a long season. It's a long, and then you have to go by injuries and things of that nature. So you never know. Miami Heat, I think they're going to be good. I mean, Hero got his cash. Robinson got his cash. Butler got his cash. So that should not be an issue. I think for the fact that they're going to be a team to deal with at the end of this. Right now, they're not playing very well with a record of 4-7. I don't think they're going to be that good. Now let's go to the Detroit Pistons. Even though they're 3-9, they are a fun team to watch. They have some young players, and that team, y'all better watch out in a couple of years. They get their kid Ivy, who was fantastic. Very impressed with Detroit. They play hard. Although they're 3-9, I think that they're going to be some team to be reckoned with. I like the fact that they play hard every night. And as a coach, as a fan, you just want teams to play hard, and they play hard every night. And I'm very happy to see that. Even though they're 3-9, you better watch out for them next couple of years, because remember they have a lot of picks left as well. So you better watch out for the Detroit Pistons. I'm still waiting on my girl Lex to come on. Hopefully she comes on. But anyway, the comment got to do what you got to do. All right, Orlando Magic. All right. They got Suggs, who was like in the first round of last year, and they got Boncero, whatever his name is, this year. I think they're, again, are going to be a team to deal with in future years. As long as they don't give up any of their picks, I think they're going to be very well. They're going to be doing very well. Suggs had a couple of good games this year. Ponchero, he's doing very well. I think he's like one of the very few people to average, like rookies to average 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists per game. I think he's going to be a great pro. I had my hesitation about I wasn't too thrilled about him, but he's somebody to deal with. I think he's going to be very, very good. Orlando's going to be a team to deal with. And it was good. I think the fact that the NBA, you got teams who are always doing well, and you got the teams like Detroit's been down every year. Orlando been down every year. Charlotte been down every year. All these teams are now getting back to some respectability. I think the NBA, I foresee the NBA being even better, because these teams are going to get better and better because of the draft, free agents. A lot of teams now, if you notice, Orlando Magic doesn't have anybody who's a max player. Think about it. Orlando Magic does not have one max player. Getting back to my next team, which is the Charlotte Hornets. They're 3-9 as well. I thought they would be a little bit better. But again, people out there, these two teams do not have a max player. So therefore, they have a lot of money to pay for free agents, and they also can build by the draft. And I think if you look at NBA teams prior, the NBA teams that really do well build by the draft, not by free agents. They build by the draft. They develop their players to become better, and at a low salary cap. Because they come in, you ain't gonna pay them that much. You develop them, they get better and better and better. So again, Orlando Magic, 3-9, Charlotte Hornets, 3-9. Although my guy Terry Rozier is playing pretty good as well. I think everybody's fighting for that first round pick, first pick of the draft, which would be that guy. I can't even say his name. I have a hard, but whatever. The 7'4" guy, who the 18-year-old kid, who is absolutely phenomenal. I've been watching his highlights. Y'all gotta check this guy out. He is gonna be some. He got to put a little bit of weight on, and you gotta watch out because 7'4". You know he's probably gonna be prone to injuries, ankle, knee, foot injuries. But this kid has it all. I'm talking inside, outside, 3-point shot. Put the ball to the floor, take it to the rim. The guy is a great defensive ball player. Has long arms, of course. He's gonna be, and I think the team I'm going to talk about next, everybody said that's who they're doing. We're going to tank it. We're going to get rid of, which I'll go to my next team. We're going to get rid of Rudy Gobert. We're going to get rid of him. But we're going to get all these picks. And everybody said, why would Minnesota do that? Let me tell you all something. There's a method to the madness. Now, everybody said, well, Utah, they're going to tank it. They're going to tank it. Okay. Well, let me see. Right now, Utah's at 10-3. Who would have thought that? They're 5-0 at home, and they're 5-3 on the road. And Utah, right now, if you look at Moccasin, I mean, he is playing out of his mind. He got 32 points last night. When he was with Chicago, I think his highest game might have been 15, 16 points. But see, some players can develop and play better in a different system. And apparently, the system he's at right now is unbelievable. And then you got my guy, Clarkson, who was played at Missouri. Again, played under my guy, Dave Lato, when he was assistant coach at Missouri. Just trying to put that out there a little bit. He's coming on. He's having his best year as well. And Utah Jazz right now 10-3. I would never. Let me know who y'all would think that they would be 10-3 right now. The Utah Jazz. Think about it. Utah Jazz, really? They done gave up Rudy Gobert, but I think it was 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. They gave him up. I'm shocked about that. But the Utah Jazz are performing at a high level right now. It's early. We all got to fall back. It's early. But right now, they're probably one of the most surprising teams I've seen. Then here's another team who I thought would not be as good this year, the Phoenix Suns. Right now, they're 8-3. You know, they have the situation with Ayton. When he wanted his contract, they didn't want to pay him. And the reason why they paid him is because I think it was Indiana that was going to pay him, and then they matched it. I think it was Indiana. Phoenix Suns, 8-3. Very surprising. You know, you got Booker. Booker's the man. We all know him. Ayton's playing pretty well. Chris Paul's 186 years old, but he's still a leader of the team, and he doesn't make many turnovers. Unfortunately, he's injury prone. He's out right now again. I think it's his heel. You know, but Phoenix, I mean, they're well coached. Monty is doing the damn thing. I'm very, very surprised that they're doing this. I didn't think they're going to be doing this well. They lost some good players, and they picked it right up, and they're doing the same damn thing. Now, here we go. Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trailblazers, when's the last time they were relevant? I think when, I guess, Harden played with them, right? Portland, yeah, I think it was Portland. No, you said. When's the last time was Portland Trailblazers relevant? You know, you got Dame Lillard, who has been a loyal player for them. And a lot of people said, no, he needs to go. He needs to bounce, you know. But they come in with a whole gang of young players. And they're playing so well together. Dame is happy as ever. He done got that over $200 million contract. So he's happy. He didn't have to leave. And he's a homeboy. You gotta respect that. And the way they're playing out their mind is crazy. I love the way that they're playing right now. Portland Trailblazers, team to contend with. And then we go down to the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets. If you notice, people, Jokic, whatever you call him, I have a hard time pronouncing that. He's not up climb up to his previous year's stats. But they're 8-3. They're still winning. And they have a guy they call Bones. Y'all gotta check him out. Whoever's paying attention to the show, watch out. Bones. If you ever met learn about the N1 with the ball handling, and you got this guy Bones is he reminds me of Pearl Washington, or he reminds me of some of the great ball Tim Hardaway and Isaiah, some of the great ball handlers. This guy, you gotta watch him. They play against the Boston Celtics tomorrow night at the Boston TD Garden. I'll be watching that show. Matter of fact, I might even go get a ticket. This is how good this Bones. Remember this name, Bones. That's his name, Bones. The guy, he does tricks. He's magical. He's entertaining, and plus he can put up points. And we're talking about Jokic. We're talking about Murray. We're talking about Porter Jr., who came back and had a very good couple of games. Denver Nuggets, another team you gotta watch out for. Gotta be very careful about the Denver Nuggets. I'm letting you all know right now. And then, of course, the team of, I'm sure everybody is so excited about, me as well, the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies, as you know, last year, if I recall, Ja was out like 20 games or something, and their record was like unbelievable with him out. They played better with him out than when he was with them. Then he came back, and then he got hurt in the playoffs, and they lost a couple of people. And this year, at the beginning of the year, a couple of people were hurt, but they're back now. Memphis Grizzlies, no team to be playing with. They're young, they're youthful, they're tough, they got that dog in them, and they're fun to watch. They don't care who gets the accolades, and that's the team to deal with in the Western Conference. You gotta watch out for Memphis. They're 8-4 right now. They're one and a half games back. They're also 4-1 at home, which is pretty amazing as well. So you gotta watch out for them. Memphis is a team to deal with, and Ja is off the hook. You all know he only got drafted by one. He only got scouted by one team in college. One team. But you know, if you ever watch videos about him and how much his work ethic is phenomenal, and he got the bag this year. And this kid, you know me, I'm old school. I'm an old historian. This kid has. I'm trying to think who he reminds me of. Hopefully, whoever. Do you know who he reminds you of? I'm trying to think who he reminds me of. I don't know. He got like a 45-inch vertical, ambidextrous. He can go right, left. He's getting better on the perimeter jump shot. He last year had the most points in the paint of anybody in the NBA. I think he's second or third now. Gilchrist Alexander from Oklahoma City is number one. But Morant is tough. What a great player. And Bain, and they're gonna be. Hey, they're young, they're hungry, and guess what? Besides Morant, Ja, they have no big money. Again, payroll's down. They can afford to go and get somebody else during a trade deadline. And you know something, at the end of the day, people, if you're a business, you're looking to try to better your team. So what most teams are going to do is they're going to shuffle around to see how they're going to react before the trade deadline. What can we do to make ourselves better? Or what can we do? I'm not going to, I don't know, say it, but what can we do to not make ourselves better? In other words, I think y'all know what I'm saying, because everyone wants to, the teams that they feel are not going to compete. Well, this is what we're going to do. I'm just saying that they may not be so concerned about how they do this year because they're looking into the future. We're going to go into the next team. Again, here's a team I thought was not going to do as well. The Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks right now, they're 6-4. And I thought they should have did more to keep Brunson because that was a good fit with Dallas. Brunson went to the Knicks. Brunson is playing well. Knicks are not playing that well. So how much of an impact is Brunson making on that team? Obviously, I thought Donovan Mitchell would have made, and they almost had him, but they didn't. They didn't pull the trigger. They could have had Donovan Mitchell, but they chose Brunson, who again is a very good player. I think he was a better fit with Dallas because there wasn't as much expectations. Him getting all that money, playing for his dad, who was on the bench. We all know who he is, and a lot more pressure on him to perform at a level which I don't think he's able to do. Is he a franchise player? Great, solid point guard. I mean, I think he's on like 18 points a game. I mean, he's doing his thing, but is he taking the Knicks over the top? I don't think so. I think that's going to be a major problem when they could have had Donovan Mitchell. Sometimes you got to pull that trigger. Imagine him with the Knicks. Again, not taking anything away from Brunson. Good kid, good character, good perimeter shooter, penetrates, has that experience. I think he's going to play well, but the Knicks need more help. All that money the Knicks spent. Think about their payroll. Look at their payroll in the last 5 years. And Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier. Look how much money they made. And what do they get out of it? To me, that is poor management. We all know the owners of a lot to be desired, but he's not going anywhere. So until they have a change of ownership, or until he puts the reins or pull somebody in who he will give autonomy to, the Knicks are going to be the way the Knicks are. It's unfortunate because you're in the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. Come on, y'all. Madison Square Garden, you're in the Mecca. The best place to play in the NBA. And you can't put a quality team out there. And then look what you did to Spike Lee. Look what you did with Oakley. Man. So the Knicks are a mess. If the Knicks were relevant and they would have the because NBA, you want rivals. You remember the Lakers and the Celtics, the Pistons and the Lakers, the Pistons and the Celtics, the Bulls and the Pistons, the Bulls and the Celtics, the Bulls, and you need rivalry. Can you imagine? The NBA is doing fantastic right now. Can you imagine if the Knicks were relevant? How much would that bring in? Think about it. The Knicks are hardly even on TV now. It's a shame because New York is the Mecca. I mean, that's where allegedly all the best ball players come. And I just want to let you all know, since we're talking about the Knicks, I am in the process of having one of the best New York Knicks players of all time on my show. And that would be Earl the Pearl Monroe, Black Jesus. And I can't wait for that. I'll probably be stuttering on that show. But anyway, I can't wait to have him on the show, as well as Nate Archibald, who I had the opportunity of playing against. And I'll talk about that another time. But, again, I've been fortunate enough to play against Nate Archibald as well as Dr. J. And I wrote articles about it. So I'll be pointing that out and future shows, maybe next show, maybe end of tonight. Again, I'm looking forward to my guest who has not come on yet. I don't know where she's at. But anyway, let me tell you about Lex. Lex Barrows. She's from New Bedford, Mass., my hometown. She is one of, I guess, the most determined, dedicated individuals I know. And I wanted her to come on the show. And from what I guess, she was supposed to come on, and I don't know what happened. But anyway, I'm going to give you a little something about her. She is one of them. She has that dog in her. And she's about 5'7", 5'8". She played at New Bedford High School, had an outstanding career. Played junior college, outstanding career. She then went on to play overseas at the Cape Verde Islands, outstanding there. Hit a couple of game-winning shots, which was seen nationally. Came back home, and right now she's playing pro ball. She played for one team about 2-3 years ago. Did well, but the team kind of folded. Right now she's playing in Maine as a professional in Maine, and she is one of the most determined people I've ever met, man, woman I've ever seen. She is so dedicated and determined to reach her goal, which is to be in the WNBA, and I truly believe that she will be there. She's been on 3 of my other shows, so I don't know what happened tonight, but if we have to, we will have her on. I mean, that's my pride and joy right there. But right now, she has her own apparel. By the way, look her up, Lex, LEX, Lex Barrows. She is phenomenal. A lot of people know about her. I mean, we're trying to do our best to get her out there as far as her making the WNBA, and I wish her nothing but the best. I don't know what's going on with it tonight, but the con man has to come through like I always do. So we're gonna be good anyway. Let's get back to the Western Conference, and I hope y'all tune in. I don't want to seem too bored, but I'm gonna get a little crazy in a minute. But anyway, we're gonna go back to the Dallas Mavericks again. Luka, can anybody stop Luka? I watch him. He's about 6'8", 240, 250. Slow as dirt. Has a 4-inch vertical. But yet, look at what he's doing. He is just phenomenal. And he's teasing teams try to stop him. Again, he don't have a, if you know, most teams have a second. You get a Batman and Robin. Who is Dallas's Robin? You got Batman. Luke. Who's Robin? Who's Robin? I don't know yet. They don't have a Robin yet. They do have a Batman. Right now they're 6-4. They were on a winning streak. They lost the other night, which was very surprising. But Luka is like, and you know something? I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. If you notice, who's won the MVP like the last 3-4 years? A European player, right? Guess who's gonna win it this year? It's gonna be Luka. It's gonna be Luka. Not only because he deserves it, but think of the national attention that's going to bring all over the world. NBA is not stupid. Luka is playing like he belongs in that conversation. I mean, he's averaging 34 a game, 7-6 assists, 7-6 rebounds, and he's unstoppable. He has so much confidence, and he came to camp in shape, which he didn't do last year. But Christian Wood has made a major impact on that team because a lot of attention is paid on Luka, but Wood is playing out of his mind. Is he the Robin? I don't know. We're going to have to see. If he steps up and keeps playing the way he's been playing, I think he might have to give consideration that Dallas is going to be another contender to deal with. Again, Luka is unbelievable. Only thing about Luka, he's kind of reminds me of like a James Harden. Because when Luka has the ball, it's Luka. And he'll take 1,500 dribbles and then do that fadeaway. He'll do that fadeaway pop. But I like the way the team, he has made, these 6 assists a game. And Wood is playing out of his mind. And they do have a good team and a good bench. And again, here I go again, ladies and gentlemen, listen to what I'm saying. Sharp money. Because when you look from a management standpoint, you want to look at what your payroll is, what the salary cap is, and what you can do. Because at the end of the day, that's what the most important thing is, what you can do. And the Dallas Mavericks right now have some picks. They can make some things happen. Again, the key is what teams are going to make deals or something before the trade deadline or at the trade deadline. And we'll let you know how well teams are really thinking about tanking, which we thought Utah was, but Utah is definitely not tanking. I mean, you got Conley playing out of his mind. I mean, Utah is not. Everybody thought they were going to tank in order to get that guy. I can't pronounce his name. But anyway, the 7'4" guy, but they're playing out of their mind. So you got to watch out for that. Now, let's go down to the Clippers, the LA Clippers. Oh boy, Clippers have been, you know, taking backseat to Lakers for so many years, even though they play in the same building. The Clippers, uh, the guy they go back. Y'all too young, but they go back to a guy who I know was from who played at the University of Rhode Island. His name was Tommy Garrick, and so I'm very familiar with the Clippers as well. And the Clippers have not been relevant for a long time. And I mean, they have one of the best and richest owners in the NBA. So that's not an issue. They can go over the salary cap. They can do all that because they've done it before. So have Golden State as well. But they have gone above and beyond to try to get the best players. And unfortunately, they can't get the best players on the court. You know, when they picked up Kawhi, I thought, well, man, that's going to be a major impact. Wow, they got Kawhi. What a great move. And this year, when they picked up John Wall, who sat on the bench, didn't play one game. Well, he played, I think he played a few games. And they paid him $40 million to sit the bench and just sit there. But now he's playing with the Clippers. He's playing very well. But you got Kawhi. Now, this guy had sat a whole year with the ACL. They say, according to the best doctors, that it takes 8 to 10 months to recuperate. He's been out almost 14 to 16 months. He comes back. I think he played 4, 5, 6 games. He averaged 12 points a game. That much I know. Now, again, how much credence do we give to his injury? Because if you guys remember, he was one of them dudes that when he got in, he said, I'm not coming back till I'm 100%. And he kept to his word. Now, is he doing that again this year? Because right now, they're sitting at 7-5. Paul George is coming out to light. He's playing real good. And, I mean, they have starting five very well. They have a great bench. I think that they're doing pretty good, but I think they could be doing better. They won their last 2 games, one against the Lakers, which we'll go into in a few minutes about that one. That could be a long one. Sorry, Freddie. But, I mean, we can go into that as well. But the Clippers they're doing well. I think, what can Ty do? He's waiting on one of his best players, and he's not there. You're paying him all this money, and he missed the whole last year. You want to be able to have Ty be able to coach his full roster, and right now it's not happening at all. It's not happening at all, and to me that is a major problem. Which leads us to my pick preseason, the New Orleans Pelicans. I said at the beginning of the season, this is the team to watch out for. They got Zion back. And he seems to be healthy again. He kept a couple days, but he's playing back again. They have McCollum. They have a great team, great bench, great coaching. I think, again, here we go again. Low money again. And that's going to make a major difference. I predicted them at the beginning of the year to be a top 4 team out of the West. And I truly believe that's what's going to happen. I definitely think that's definitely going to happen. I'm impressed. I mean, they got it all. They got the youthfulness. They got the perimeter shooting. They got the inside game. Ingram is. You tell me Ingram don't remind you of Paul George or Anthony Davis. Ingram, again, we're talking about another player that the Lakers let go. Sorry, Freddie. Lakers let so many players go. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But the Pelicans right now, they're 6-5. I think that they're going to get a lot better. They have a very powerful backcourt. I think they have a very, I mean, McCollum is that guy who can lead them. And they got Ingram and they got Zion. You know, most teams only have they got three superstars and they have a great bench. And I think this is going to get better. I like their coach. I like the way that the coaches, the players love them, and they'll go through a brick wall, and that plays a very important part as far as what they're going to do. So I'm very happy with the Pelicans, although they're 6-5 right now. Watch out, just watch out. Here's a surprising team: San Antonio Spurs. I've been watching them the last couple of games, and I'm like, who they have? Larry, Moe, Curly, and Neil. But you know something? No, they don't. They have a very good team. They're well coached. Pop is uh, challenging these young players, developing these young players. I think that gives a little spark in his 188 years of coaching. But I think they're providing a spark for him. I think he enjoys this team more than a lot of teams because they're young and they want to learn. And they're surprising a lot of people, including myself. I'm kind of shocked. I think they're going to do better. They're 5-7. They're doing well. I didn't expect them to be doing this well. I think as the year goes on, as teams get to know each other's teams, and these young guys get to learn the NBA experience, learning on the Pop. We all know how great Pop is. I think they're going to be pretty good. Will I think they make the top four in the Western Conference? No. Do I think they have a bright future? Yes. Do I think Pop will be there? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how many years Pop got. But I tell you what, I guarantee you he feels younger now because he has a young crew that most coaches, most coaches want to teach. Anybody can coach, but most coaches want to teach. That's when they feel they're more relevant. That's what they get the most out of. X's and no, they want to teach. They want to teach players to become better players. And that makes a world of difference as far as when you're coaching. Again, to me, I've been around a long time, as you all know, as a referee, as a player, and broadcaster, the whole nine. To me, the difference is you have coaches and then you have teachers. To me, coaches coach. And how they coach? They yell. Get the rebound. Do this. Do that. Teachers teach you how to get the rebound. They teach you how to do this. And they not only that, they teach you why. They give the reason why. Coaches just yell out, most coaches just yell out instructions. Teachers teach. And being an NBA referee, I'm not NBA, but being a referee for all the years I've refereed, and having a good friend who was an NBA referee, who will be on in 2 weeks, by the way, Eric Brittle, who refereed in the NBA. I'm going to have him on the show as well. He can explain it to you more than I can. But, coaching is a lost art. Teaching is a lost art. And, but I have my opinion on that. So we're going to go on right now. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay. They have a major project because they traded the farm and then some for Rudy Gobert. So you got Rudy Gobert, you got Towns. 2 7-footers. I think they'll be effective during the regular season. But as we know, Utah Jazz got smashed because Rudy Gobert could not come out to the perimeter. Teams took advantage of it. That's why Rudy Gobert went to the bench during the playoffs. Now they got 2 of them now, right now. Their numbers are going to look good. Towns is a great perimeter shooter. He can extend the defense. Rudy Gobert's great defensive ball player. Has no offensive moves at all. But he's a good shot blocker. He's very good in the paint defensively. And catch the alley-oops, dunks, whatever. How much of an effect that's going to be, I don't know. But they do have that beast. They do have that dog. That would be Ant. Edwards is a beast. I think that I don't know how effective they're going to be as far as the season goes on. If they're going to make a playoff run, I really don't know. I like Towns because, man, he can hit that jump shot. Claims he's the best big man outside shooter of all time. But he has that ability to shoot and is out of his mind. Gobert, he'll give you double double, but is that enough to go to that upper echelon in the Western Conference? I don't think they're ready yet. Now, here is my dilemma of the NBA. The Sacramento Kings. When have they ever been relevant, except when Chris Webber and them guys played back in the day, which was what, 25 years ago? Sacramento has not been effective since then. Now, they get from it one of the top picks in each and every round or each every year. And they, for some reason, they do not have the proper people making the proper draft picks. And then once they do get the draft picks, they send them off. And as you may or may not know, Shaquille O'Neal is one of the minority owners of the Sacramento Kings. And I just don't understand how the Sacramento Kings cannot do a better job of making better draft picks or getting free agents to come and play in Sacramento. They're at 4-6 right now. I watch, I watch almost every game that I can, and I just don't see anything happening for Sacramento. I mean, they packed the house. They got a great fan base. I like the team that they have, but they could be doing so much better. When you have been that low for so many years, and you can't get picks to make you better, I have a problem with that. And although they're small market, and I know they really don't have the salary cap to go over the tax limit as other teams do, like Golden State, etc. But I think they can do something to make them more palatable, give more parity in the Western Conference. Right now, they're 4-6. They won one game last night or the night before, so they are. I mean, I guess as a fan, all you want to do is have the team play hard, and sometimes upstairs management wants you to tank. They won't say it. They want you to tank to get the best player, and we know who the best player coming out right now is a 17, 18-year-old kid who's 7'4", who everybody wants to get. So I don't know if that's their goal. Maybe this will be the year that they'll be able to attain somebody who might be that individual who might get them up above where they have been over the last 20 years. I don't know. Okay, now the Golden State Warriors. They've had some problems, as you all know. Klay Thompson getting injured, suffered 2 major injuries coming back. And then they came back to win the championship after 2 very terrible years, but they kept the unit together, and they ended up beating the Celtics in the finals last year. And Steph was Steph. A lot of people said, well, he couldn't get the MVP of the finals. He did that. He's already got an MVP. He did that. Vince Skolnick, he did that. Steph has done everything you can imagine, almost every individual award. Golden State this year, they started a little tough. Had a little problem with Green and Poole, as we all know. And people were saying, well, that's never going to end up working because that's always going to be a major problem with those individuals. I think they worked that out. I really do. I think they worked that out. But they've fallen on bad times. They lost 5 in a row. They won the other night. Steph had to get, 47, if I'm correct. He got 47 points. So he had to come out his bag. The Warriors are who they are. They're going to be playing more Kuminga. Kuminga, if you guys who do not know Kuminga is, he came from the G League. Kaminga is like, as far as physical ability, I think he has like a 46, 48-inch vertical. He can jump out the gym. He can score at will. He has yet to show. I saw him in some league where he was able to do his thing. Right now, he hasn't really fit into the Golden State system as of yet. But let me tell you something. They have a bunch of young guys who are amazing. They're going to be something to deal with, and they're going to carry on that tradition. You got Wiseman. They got so many young players. Pooh, who was doing phenomenal last year and at the beginning of this year. Now he's going through a little slump. So people are down on him. I say, watch out. The Warriors are nobody to joke with. I think they're going to end up performing the way teams, we expect them to be. And Steph ain't going to go out like that. Not with the team they got. Now, right now they are 4-7. They won one game. One game as far as recently, which was the other night. And Steph had to come out of his bag with that 47 points. But they have been there. They have done it. And they know it's not what you do right now. It's what you make during the long run. And toward the end of the season, I think they're going to come out if they're healthy. And if they don't make any trades. Because a key in the NBA this year, everybody, is what's going to happen during the trade deadline. Who's going to make the moves to make them better? Or who's going to make moves to make them better? Maybe not this year, but for the future. I think you know what I'm saying. There's some teams who may, all right, we're not going to be good now, but we're going to make this move because what can we be in the future? And at the end of the day, it is a damn business. The NBA is a shrewd business. Now, I'm going to tell you something that I guarantee y'all don't know. I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. Do you know that in order to make an NBA pension, you have to play 4.5 to 5 years to get your NBA pension? I bet y'all don't know that. Do you know how many NBA teams look at individuals who are on the cusp of making that 4.5 to 5 years? And guess what? They're gone because they don't want to pay their pension. Look it up. You see what I'm talking about. I'm giving you some stuff I know. But anyway, so the NBA is a very cruel business. And that's why you see so many people coming and going. Yeah. But hey, they're the owners. They're in there to make money. But now you got the players in there to make money too. So they got to look out for themselves because the owners going to look out for themselves. Now think about it. You think about this. How many players you know make over 30 million a year in the NBA? My guess is close to 40. Over 20, over 40. So if the owners are paying them that kind of money, how much money do you think the owners are getting? Food for thought. That's all I'm saying. There's a method to the madness. So now I just went through the Golden State Warriors 4-7. Oklahoma City. Here's where a team who, again, people say they're gonna tank. They're gonna tank. But you know something? Sometimes when you have teams like that who have, again, no max players, none whatsoever, you have teams that play harder because they want to be able to maintain that credibility. They want to be able to make that money in future years. Now you got, I keep saying his name wrong. You got to forget Gilchrist Alexander, whatever his name is, GA, whatever. He is playing out of his mind. This is a guy who people say he might have been a bust. Look at the way he's playing this year. I think he got 39 last night. Look at how many he has not scored under 22 the whole 13 games that they played, 11 games. He is playing out of his mind. So these teams are having some players expose themselves, not only for their team, but for the other teams in the league who might want to get them. Because at the end of the day, if you notice in the NBA, most teams, Three or four players control most of the money on a particular team, and the rest are players who are minimum contracts or mid-level exemption contracts, and the top level, they get most of the money. I'll give you names, which I will in a minute. Just check out Philadelphia. Just check out Brooklyn. And check out Golden State. I mean, you can check it out. Most of the teams, they pay so much to the top three players. And therefore, that's why you see teams like, which I'll go into next, because they're next on my list. You see why these teams are not doing or flourishing, because they pay so much money for the top level players. Wow, I think I reached my limit. I'm already over the limit. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go real quick. It's been honest. I wish Lex would have been on the show, but guess what? I will have her on the show. She will come on again. I'm over the limit right now, but I'll go real quick. Lakers, Los Angeles Lakers. They're 2-9. LeBron shooting 5,000 3-point shots per game. He's shooting the NBA history, the worst 3-point shooter in NBA history right now. But he continues to shoot the 3-point shot. We know he wants to break Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. But I mean, he got 30 points. His numbers look good, but to me, he's taking way too many 3-point shots. I'm happy about Westbrook. He's coming off the bench. Seems to be playing better. Anthony Davis is injury prone. He looks like he's 46. I mean, his numbers are good, but I don't know what the Lakers are going to do with him. They got to make a move. They have no outside shooting at all. Sorry, Freddie. They have no outside shooting whatsoever. They could have made a move. They could have got Turner, and they could have got Hield from Indiana. They chose not to. They still can make that move. They need some outside shooting. Beverly is a great defensive player, thug, but great defensive player, can't shoot. Reeves is a good player, not a great shooter. Who do they have that can shoot the shot? Nobody. They need to make a move before the trade deadline. Hopefully they will. And I got one more team, the Houston Rockets. Very proud of the Houston Rockets. They're going to be a team to contend with in the future. They got so many young players right now, and they're 2-10. And people, they suck. No, they don't. They're gaining experience. Them guys are going to be something to deal with. They're very athletic. They're phenomenal. They're going to be good. They just need some polishing. Give them a couple years, they're going to be something else. And I went past my time. I apologize. I had a good time. I hope that Lex is okay. She will come on my show, and I want her to tell her story, because it's something that you all, for the young girls out there, you can do it, because she did it from ground floor and her dedication. So she will be on again. But next week, we're going to have a great guest as well. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to Sports Corner with the Con Man on the Empire Sports Network. I appreciate my producer, Key Williams, and, of course, Freddie Henderson. We will be back next Thursday with one of my great guests as well. Please tune in, please share, and let me know what you think. Y'all have a great night. God bless. Take care.